June 2026 is in full swing, and the Steam Next Festival is live until the 16th, meaning you still have time to queue up demos. I've lined up the indie game contenders you absolutely need to test drive before the clock runs out. Grab a drink, get comfy, and let's sprint through these must-plays. You know those Metroidvanias that lure you in with gorgeous pixels before drop-kicking you into a mythic mid-grinder? That's Shattered Divinities, the picture world after Ragnarok where surviving gods have literally shattered the sky. 4 roaming calamities warp the map in real time, so every run feels cursed in a fresh way. You and I build rune loadouts on the fly. For example, you could slot a frost sigil in your spear, yank it out mid-fight for a shock rune, and boom, you have a different moveset. The demo already hides secret routes behind a corruption meter that forces risk-reward detours, so theory crafters are buzzing. Release date is still when it's ready, but the Steam page and Reddit threads are tracking up wishlists fast. The only worry, early testers say the first boss hits like a truck, and the balance tweaks can't come soon enough. Still, if you crave that sweet pixel punishment, keep this one pinned. Okay, imagine if no more heroes crashed headfirst into deadly premonition and respawned as a co-op slasher roguelite. Welcome to Hotel Barcelona. Suda51 as well have built a gleaming roadside hotel that secretly traps America's worst serial killers, then throws us into an endless 2.5D time loop to take them down. Every failure spawns a slasher phantom, basically your murderous ghost that stalks the next run, so dying just makes the hotel meaner. Online 3-player chaos is confirmed, and the devs tease a versus mode where your friend can be the phantom. There's no lock date yet, just a 2025 window across PC, PS5 and Series X, but the Grindhouse trailer is pure midnight movie energy. Some folks think the screen splattering effects look too pussy, but I'm betting that's exactly the point. So if you want weird, you have found the penthouse. The next item we have is Dawn Apart, a corporate space mining, but make it voxels and make the entire planet destructible. In Dawn Apart, we drop onto asteroid Sirius B3 with a single mandate. Churn out look room 115 for the Kobayashi's Quartz Megacorp. Your factory lines hum, conveyor belts spit resources, and then suddenly the terrain caves in because you drilled too deep. That domino effect is exactly the hook, where the landscape physics mesh with Factorio style automation, so every crater you carve rewrites your logistics puzzle. The devs just locked July 14, 2025 for early access, and the playable demo lets you test drive the mining rigs right now. Later updates promise combat and even a full-on colonist rebellion path if you're tired of corporate quotas. I'm hyped, but I'm also side-eyeing performance. Real-time voxel destruction can melt mid-range GPUs. Fingers crossed the optimization miners are hard at work. The next title we have is Pioneer. Imagine if Stalker and Escape from Tarkov raised a mutant baby on a windswept Soviet archipelago. That's what Pioneer is. You wash up after a reactor incident, anomalies crackle in the sky, and rival factions will absolutely loot your corpse if you slip up. It's an MMO shooter, but the devs swear the story quests won't vanish under PvP griefing. They're layering PvE raids, weather hazards, and a co-op base assault so you can hop between roles. Mercenary 1 hour, Caravan Guard the next. The official site oozes moody post-Soviet vibes, and the Steam page lists a 2025 launch with full Russian and English voiceovers. The big unknown though is the servers. Will you players like you and me get decent ping, or will we be stuck trading bullets at 150 milliseconds? Either way, the gunplay looks chunky enough to keep me queuing for beta. Now if you need a breather from all that gunfire, step into Strange Antiquities, a cozy creepy shop sim set in fog-drenched town of Undermere. You inherit a dusty storefront packed with occult relics, such as cursed lockets, whispering skulls, maybe a time-bending hourglass or two. Each day, customers like cryptic notes across the counter, and you have to match the right artifact without unleashing something you can't stuff back into the box. Hand-drawn art and gentle piano loops lull you into comfort, but the lore pages hint at darker undercurrents and branching fates for the townsfolk you befriend. The release date is still under wraps, though the Steam listing and Thinking Games profile both dropped fresh screenshots last month. My only concern is pacing. Identifying trinkets sound chill, but will there be enough narrative spice to keep the non-puzzle fans engaged? Still, I'm vibing with its Night Vale meets Antique Roadshow energy and cannot wait to haggle with a cultist. Next on the list we have Neon Abyss 2, where you need to crap your neon shades because the guards have gone rogue again. And this time they're letting 4 people wreak havoc together. Now Neon Abyss 2 dives back into its cybermyth nightclub of mutant Olympians on July 17th, 2025, launching straight into early access so the community can shape the madness. You still bust open Mystery X for gun mods, but now the entire synergy loadouts pop when teammates stitch their kit together. Imagine Zeus charge laser katanas crossing with a Medusa acid minigun. The art's brighter, the rooms chain vertically, and pet companions have skill trees instead of just passive buffs. Fans of the first game are stoked for the deeper builds, yet quietly worried co-op might flatten the finely tuned chaos that made solo runs so addictive. Still, Team 17 promises weekly balance patches and a solo purist difficulty right out of the gate, so I'm mashing that wishlist button. Remember speedrunning through retro Ninja Gaiden levels while the soundtrack fried your brain? The Ragebound brings that 2D fury back on July 31st, but boasts on modern parameter that rewards perfect deflections with screen shredding chain kills. The Steam demo already clocks me at 45 deaths in stage 2, exactly the kind of pain to glory ratio old school fans crave. The new thing here is the Spirit Gauge. If you land 5 flawless kills in a row, Brucehair will basically teleport across the map, slicing everything mid-air. The only red flag? Even journalists needed accessibility toggles after the first boss, so I hope Team Ninja's difficulty options arrive before casual players rage quit. Either way, I'm queuing for that day 1 leaderboard race. Now, if Patapon's travel drums still echo in your head, Ratatan is about to crank the volume to 11. The original creators smashed their Kickstarter goals in 48 hours, promising a late 2025 launch on every major platform, and finally, online co-op. We're commanding whole Rutum armies, breeding elemental ratas that bring buffs like chain lightning or healing chants. Between stages, you build a 4th monster hunter, decorated with unlockables and even tamed kaiju-sized pets to march in the next battle. Stretch goals added roguelike expeditions and a versus drum battle mode, but backers are rightly worried about scope creep. However, the devs answered that with monthly soundcheck demos, and so far the beat timing feels tight, the art vibrant, and the soundtrack composed live by a 30-piece percussion ensemble. I'm practicing my 4-bit combos already, because you and I are taking that first day multiplayer lobby by storm. The next title we'll have is Void/Breaker. Imagine if Hades and Titanfall mashed up and let you tear the walls down around your enemy. That's Void/Breaker, a roguelite FPS sprinting into early access on August 20th, where every single run drops us into an AI-controlled kill box where you kit bash weapons on a 5x5 mod grid. Stick 5 ricochet chips on a railgun and you've basically built a pinball noob. The kicker of this game though is the true environmental destruction. Enemies taking cover, vaporize the wall and watch the rubble finish the job. Steam lists daily challenges with global leaderboards, while Gematsu's report console ports shortly after PC. My hype meter spiking, but early access shooters can stumble on progression balance. But the devs swear seasonal wipe events will keep the meta fresh without deleting cosmetic unlocks. If they nail that loop, we have got the next big Twitch addiction going on. Cue the siege into remixes. Parasite, the studio behind Blacktail, just revealed DAVY X Jones, a first-person romp where the pirate legends head and body operate as two bickering protagonists. Your skulls throws out snarky tips while your headless torso swings a cutlass, fires a flintlock and grapples across cursed galleons. The setting of this game is a surreal Bermuda 3C where sunken relics warp physics. So 1 minute you're wall running a ship hull turns vertical, and the next minute you are free falling into an upside down coral city. There is no release date yet, but Steam teaser funds ray trace Moonlight and dismember in impact combat that would make Sea of Thieves embarrassed. Gematsu's highlights a morale system too, where you can save drowned souls to empower your skull's magic or harvest them for darker perks. I'm intrigued, though juggling two talking halves could get choky fast. Either way, my inner pirate just raised the ghostly toast. Now the next title we have is Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, a sequel to the previous game where Will's humble town from the curse has washed up onto an island, gen-riddled with shimmering portals that lead straight into this procedural endless vault. Moonlighter 2 jumps to a full 3D painterly style, but the core double life loop is intact. By the day, you rebuild a seaside bazaar, and by the night, you dive through portals, yank relics, and pray you make it back before the sunrise. The developers call it a roguelike inside a roguelite, a multi-biome vault wings that shuffle every run, and a new gadget crafting station that lets you cherry-rig boomerang spears or magnet glows on the fly. Summer 2025 is the target, hitting Game Pass on day 1. But although the community hype is sky high, old fans worry about the bigger scope that might smother the cozy shops in pacing that made the original feel personal. Digital Sun says Townsfall quests now pause whenever you portal, so fingers crossed the vibe stays balanced. Now picture a planet-sized ark drifting through space with vines threading its corridors and rogue machines rewriting the map. That is the vessel, and you slip into the chassis of MIO, Memories in Orbit. A veteran-light android who can wall climb, whip swing, and straight up glide through zero-G chambers. In MIO, combat is all about weapon morphing, where your arms shifts from plasma blade to rail cannon mid-combo, and every upgrade uncovers shortcuts that look back Metroid style. The hand-drawn pastels look almost watercolor against the cold steel bulkheads. A 2-hour demo just landed for the Steam Next Fest, and Focus Entertainment confirmed a 2025 release on all platforms. Early players love the slick traversal, but note that backtracking could feel hefty if fast travel nodes are scarce. Still, diving into the vessel feels like spelunking inside a broken kaleidoscope, so I'm sold. The next title we have is MotionRec, that is asking a question I didn't even know I wanted. What if your past self were the puzzle piece? In this side-scrolling post-apocalyptic playground, you record a snippet of movement, let's say sprinting then jumping, and then you drop that goes whenever you need it. Replay the clip and your echo runs a treadmill, flips a switch and turns into a moving platform you can ride. The Steam Next Fest demo layers in speedrun leaderboards and a rewind hotkey that makes experimenting painless. MotionRec is planned for 2025 and it's being published by Playism, with the developers promising user-made challenge packs after launch. The only concern I see is length. Recording puzzles can feel magical but burn out fast if the narrative doesn't escalate. Still, mastering your own echoes feels like a co-op with yourself. It's an equal part for brain teaser and action flair. Next, you need to strap on neon guitar because this game turns a rock concert into an alien-splitting hack and slash. Genokids lets up to 4 players tag team on a 1 controller or online, hot swapping between musicians mid-combo like Devil May Cry meets Jet Set Radio. Each bandmate has a signature style, for example breakdance kite lashes or bass-powered shockwaves, and a shared motivation meter that freezes time for outrageous group ultimates. The Kickstarter smashed its goal, and now Releases.com lists November 2025 for PC, with consoles to follow right after it. Hands-on players say the current demo already nails silky 60 FPS aerial juggles but beg for online netcode as polished as the split screen. The developers on Axe answered that rollback testing is underway, so if they pull that off, you and I will be stage diving on alien skulls all winter. Have you ever fallen asleep on a train and then wake up holding a stranger's gun? That's where you meet Mick Carter, a down on his luck Aussie who keeps body hopping every time he dies. Power Hooves, point-and-click thriller, now packs twin stick shootouts. So 1 minute you're solving a dialogue puzzles, the next you're blasting cultists on a rain-slick highway. The Drifter finally lands on PC on July 17th, and the Switchport is queued for later in the year. A fresh demo lets you test the opening chase right now. The fans are hyped for the full voice cast and branching endings, but I'm eyeing the quick reload feature that stops frustration dead. If you like pulp comics and quantum leap style chaos, this looks unmissable. That wraps our lightning tour of June's 2025's Steam Next Festival highlights. Which demo just catapulted onto your personal indie game must-play list? Drop it in the comments so we can trade tips and exploits before the 16th. Hit subscribe for deeper dives, dev chats, and launch day breakdowns the moment they land. Thanks for hanging out, and now fire up Steam and start that download queue.